Hello, colleagues. We are starting a webinar, which is called Practical Experience in Launching E-commerce and Q-commerce Projects. So me and my colleague will try to share that experience and try to make it as more interesting as possible for you. And I will introduce ourselves. My name is Gregory Shipanik. So I'm working 20 years already in software implementation. And from 2015, I'm focused on projects in e-commerce and in retail, Q-commerce, logistics, especially during last 3 years when the COVID started. So I'm co-owner of the company, which is called GrassTech and Evamol. Actually, we have two companies. We are official Odoo partner in KSA. I will talk more a bit about this later. But we use not only Odoo, we are developing websites, applications, we are working with AI. So we are doing many other additional things to have all-in-one product, which we are offering to our clients. And my colleague Fatih, please tell a few words about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm glad to be here, Gregory. And I'm Fatih. I've been involved in e-commerce for the last 10 years, you can say. And my last notable experience is I was the Q-commerce manager in Snuno, and I joined Snuno back in 2019. And I was the Q-commerce manager. I launched the Q-commerce vertical of Snuno, which is called Snumart. And for people who don't know, Snuno is a company based in Qatar for ordering food and grocery. And many more different categories, actually. And I have also implemented multiple omnichannel e-commerce fulfillment projects across other e-commerce websites as well.
Okay, great. So both of us have two different sides of experience, from IT side and from operational side. So we will build our conversation like a dialogue where we will discuss the most interesting cases which we found and realized in our previous projects. So a few words about our company. We propose two solutions. GrassTech is a solution for dark stores, for Q-commerce, sometimes e-commerce, omnichannel retail, and so on. So it could be interested to all retail companies which would like to be online, to be omnichannel, and to dark stores or just e-commerce platforms. And our solutions are modular, so we can propose all together or some separate models. And we have now additional software, additional solution, which we are starting. Actually, we started 1 year ago, but still it's in the progress of implementation of number of shopping malls. And it's called Evamol. It's an innovative IT platform to transform shopping mall into omnichannel marketplace. So we create a digital twin of the shopping mall and help to start with that. So actually now we are working in Middle East market. Also, we work in Europe, but we have all product adaptation localization for Middle East. And also we provide expertise and methodology, how to support the projects and provide expert consulting. And Fatih was also actually is an expert. So we will talk today as two experts.
So especially in Q-commerce, I'm more experienced since, like I mentioned before, in 2019, end of 2019, Snuno launched their e-commerce application, which was more focused on grocery and food delivery. Later on, they added different categories such as pharmacies, flowers, chocolates, toys, and stationaries. But 2021, start of 2021 January, they launched their Q-commerce vertical, which is called Snumart. And the main focus of Snumart was delivering groceries to customers under 30 minutes, which was purely a quick commerce concept of Snuno itself.
Yeah. Okay. So few words also about the Odoo, the software which you're using on the back end as ERP solution. Odoo is worldwide company, very known, especially known on Middle East market. And we have more than 5 years experience with Odoo. And actually, all the backend parts are realized on Odoo, but a lot of things are done by ourselves. So it's big difference from the standard Odoo modules. Okay, so let's talk now about the most important things which is needed for Q-commerce and omnichannel. And let's start with warehouse management. So Fadi, maybe tell a few words about your experience here.
Yeah, of course. So back in 2020, before we even launched the Q-commerce vertical, the main point for us to be able to fulfill like Q-commerce orders itself was to be able to decide the warehouse management system. Because in the end, the company was investing in products, dark stores, warehouses, etc. So without a good modular system, we wouldn't be able to handle any kind of Q-commerce operations, inbound, outbound operations itself. So the first step for us was to be able to decide our warehouse management system before going forward, because like later on it might have been a cost increase regarding like loss of products, loss of operations, etc. So before doing anything, we decided the warehouse management system we're going to use to at least start operating and doing inbound, outbound activities itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will just also tell a few words what we face in our project. So actually, this automation of warehouse operations are extremely important because you need to collect everything in 2 minutes. And we face often situation when we implement the software, it increases the time of collection and accuracy of collection in like 50-60%, sometimes more. And what we are doing, we are putting the system all locations, so all items are linked to the location, so the pickers always have in the terminal all information, what they should scan, where to take, where to put, etc. And it's very important to work with the data after that, so all the data is in the system to improve the processes.
So a little bit like additional points there is like in Suno, we launched multiple dark stores across strategic locations in Qatar. And without the warehouse management system, we wouldn't be able to do that. We wouldn't be able to showcase products in different dark stores, because each dark store had different portfolio of SKUs inside, right? And as you mentioned, as well, like we were trying to deliver all the orders under 30 minutes, which made inbound and outbound operations to be as efficient as possible and as accurate as possible. And the warehouse management system made our picking efficiency 70% better, as well as the accuracy close to 99.5%. And the global standard for Q-commerce is, of course, like per SKU, it's like between 10 to 30 seconds. So we had to finish all preparation normally, like averagely under 2 minutes. And it's important to have a tool for especially like e-commerce, Q-commerce platforms to be able to manage these operations like under specific time to ensure as fast delivery as possible.
Yeah. And one more important point here, if all the data in the system is in the system, the stock is available. So the customer will not be able to order more than is now on the stock. And that was a big problem before of some of our clients, because number of orders were just canceled because the customer was ordering something and then call center was telling him that it's not available, and it decreased the customer's loyalty and all the things. So here it's a key to the successful operation of the business in general, that good warehouse management. Okay, so let's go further, because we don't have too much time today. We can talk about warehouse for maybe another hour.
Yeah.
Let's just overview the most important things, all of them in this webinar, and maybe we'll do separate webinars for each topic if it will be needed. So then we go to assortment and content management. So Fatih, please share your experience here. What could you recommend to the colleagues
Yeah.
for this topic?
So in I can talk about my experience specifically in Snowmart. Like we were managing more than 15,000 SKUs in our system across more than 200 different suppliers. So it was important to be able to manage all these assortments according to the supplier, to manage all the purchases and the sales itself. And what the content management enabled us is, like, of course, all SKUs have multiple attributes each time, right? So, I mean, it's pretty generic for the products to have a main category, a subcategory, product information, and of course, in the warehouse side, you need to add like the SKU number sometimes, the barcode, etc., to be able to track it more efficiently. So what we faced, like initially when we launched, we only launched with main categories, which was pretty a narrow aspect of product showcasing, right? And as we move forward to give a better customer experience to our customers, we added more attributes to the products, such as like subcategories, product information, nutritional values, which we added later on, especially affected the turnover of dairy products, because as you know, some products are perishable products, fresh products especially. You cannot keep them longer than 3 days, so you need to push them as much as possible. So what we decided to do was to be able to push them as much as possible. It was better to give as much as information as possible about the products, especially the pictures, which is a big help for the customers to decide if they want to buy the product or not. And another small aspect I can mention is, of course, when we say dark stores, we don't mean big warehouses with like 2,000 square meters, 1,000 square meters, etc. So we had like small dark stores, you can say, in strategic locations of Qatar, which were relatively between like 300 square meters and 600 square meters. So we always needed to choose the best assortment for that specific location as much as possible, and we utilized like data such as like average sales, maximum daily sales, the margin, the inventory turnover, to be able to decide which products to keep and which products to remove from the assortment or return back to the suppliers. So it's always like to be able to make a profitable business, it's always important to rely on data to be able to choose the best assortment that it's moving as much as possible, right? And we did that with like a lot of reports. I'm sure that like your system has a lot of reports for the users to be able to decide which assortment to keep or not. And you can maybe mention a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, actually, of course, any reports can be set in the system. They can be changed. The users can prepare reports even for themselves and save. There are huge possibilities for reports in different graphics, tables, whatever. Very important is to set also automatic rules for replenishment. So here, for instance, on that short video, we're showing how we can prepare a min-max rules to for auto replenishment. As well, additionally to order possibilities, we are doing the supply chain management based on AI, when the system, let's say, also understands the seasons, it understands many other parameters. Let's say only min-max is not enough sometimes. Yeah? So this is like additional module, but the users are still working with this interface, standard interface. But all the mathematics is done for them. And very important is that on the interface, it's very easy to find what you need to click on the details, to search and make decisions and quick changes. So it's very user-friendly for all people who are working with assortment and content management. Why it's needed?
If I can ask a question, like in your client portfolio, what is the like average, like how many SKUs are there that your clients are usually managing through your platforms?
Usually for Q-commerce, it's not more than 10,000 SKU. Most usually it's like less than 5,000 SKU for the dark stores, something
Yeah.
between 3,000 and 5,000. So it's not too much. But again, you can have different categories later. For the marketplaces, for instance, it could be 100,000 SKU, but it's a bit of other platform. But for Q-commerce, you don't need too many of them, but you need to work with each SKU because sometimes something is not sold at all, and it's still taking place in the warehouse, and the warehouse is small, as we discussed. Yeah, so it takes all the location, but just lying there for months instead
Which
of
makes
that.
the inventory turnover very important, especially in the Q-commerce segment.
Yes, yes. So it's crucial to understand the turnover or to analyze it daily, weekly, monthly, and play with the SKU, do the changes, and also understand how it's better to use the warehouse. So here, everything is one system that helps a lot to understand what to do, how much place does it takes, and so on. That's crucial because sometimes when you have three systems, it's very hard to integrate with them and see everything in one place, and you need to go in this system then change something in other system. So here everything is in one, which is very useful. And then okay, also it's a big topic. We can discuss many things here separately, but let's move forward now. Yeah, still we are here about inventory management. So as we already said there, that it can be based on AI and so on, and based on Mimex. So maybe few words about replenishment, Fadi, from your experience.
Yeah, so like what I like as we mentioned, AI has a crucial role in this as well, because like normally to be able to manage like 10,000, 15,000 SKUs, you need a lot of purchasers to be able to handle these operations. And as far as I understand, like your system automates that process, which saves more time as well as more resources from the companies to be used. What is in like I want to just mention one point, like especially in the non-food verticals, what is important is to be able to reflect like the inventory as accurate as possible to the front end itself, because as you mentioned before, the most important part which affects sometimes the customer experience is for customers to order a certain product and the agents replying as this product is not available, can we change it, or can we replace it with any other product, which in a Q-commerce business especially, it's a bad customer experience. So it's very important to reflect. I believe like with APIs, integration between systems is a must to be able to reflect all these information to the customer front end and to give the best customer experience as much as possible.
Exactly. And for vendor management, it's very important to exchange data with the suppliers as well, and to get accurately from them the expected dates, needed amount, quantity, and so on. Now, in the Middle East region, we quite often see that accuracy is not 100%. It's like less than 80% actually. But having the IT solutions, it's possible to increase that quality of work, which then influence on the business, on the sales and everything. Okay, so the next important point here for the dark stores and also for other retailers, manufacturing, because quite often the coffee can be prepared, some croissants or whatever. So here we have the manufacturing module. So actually what we have, it's like possibility to create bills of materials and manufacturing orders. So system automatically deduct the required amount of products when somebody is asking for one unit only, but it's cooked from 10 different products. Yeah, for instance, sugar, coffee, water, or whatever, the cup, etc.
So a quick question here, if I can just break it up. One of the problems we had in Snunu was to be able to create bundles for certain products, especially for marketing purposes, such as like the breakfast sets or lunch sets. which contained like multiple different products, and we were able to like we wanted to sell them as a one bundle to the customers itself. Does this feature handle that as well? Like, would you be
Yes.
able to do this with this model?
Yes, very easy. It's the same. It's also written here. You have to create some gift or any other sets, morning sets, whatever, because you decide to have the new set, for instance. Yeah. So you just create the bill of material. What will be there? Like you create the morning set. So you put eggs, something else, and still it's sold as one item. So you put it in the on the front end as one item in some category, and you propose do the marketing promo, and people are buying that set. But when the order comes to the dark store, they know what to do, what to collect, what they should prepare, and the supply chain is still working as it worked before. So you're ordering each product separate. So it's very easy to realize, and then you have the correct statistics and correct data, and then you can plan the replenishment of some ingredients for that set, etc., separately. Yeah, that's something also what will be needed in the future more and more, because the general concept, the world is changing. Yeah? The concept is called fridge no more. Yeah, so people prefer not to buy something on weekend and then use it during a week, and something will be dying in the fridge during this week, let's say, but to order something fresh and don't think what they need to order. So for instance, oh, it's morning, I want some morning set from this one with vegetables, let's say. So just one click and you get everything, yeah, from the grocery. It's not the cooked, but you can prepare it quickly. Or for instance, you make a party, you want the burger set or whatever, so you just choose this and everything is delivered to you during 15 or 10 minutes. That's something
like
what
during the World Cup, especially, we want to make snacks that's for the customers to be able to like watch uh, the games for the football games, right? So we had that challenge to be able to create like snack sets or movie sets, and we weren't really able to do it like effectively as possible. And it's good for you guys to have that like solution already there waiting. That's great.
Yeah, good. So let's move forward. We don't have too much time because we want to
Yes.
finish not in an hour. And the next big thing is delivering logistics. So Fadi, please share your experience with couriers, how it was working in Snunu.
So, like as mentioned, Snunu has like more than 2,000 partners onboarded in the platform. So we had a big fleet of like 2,000 drivers and riders who were on a queue on a express basis, like delivering the orders immediately as well to whichever vendor got the order, basically. So we spread out all the delivery or the couriers across Doha to be able to collect and deliver the customer orders as quick as possible. That was the USP for us. And the marketing point of Snunu was the fastest delivery in Qatar. So we were trying to deliver as fast as possible. But as a problem, like we faced, especially in the Q-commerce vertical regarding deliveries, was initially we didn't assign any volumetric value for the products. So sometimes the system was unable to decide if it should assign a rider or a driver, like a bike or a car, to this specific order. Which created delays in deliveries sometimes. And later on, we added the volumetric weights to each product to be and let the system decide which vehicle to assign to the specific order, so there won't be any problem or delay in the dispatching of the vehicle itself. So I believe your system already handles that.
Yeah, that's very important to handle that and also to plan optimal routes. We have that. It's automatically calculated based on different parameters like volume and weight and types of cars, of its bike or whatever, types of courier, time windows, types of client as well. It could be VIP client, for instance, yes, and many parameters. So important is that courier is not thinking where to go first, where to go next. Yes, our system tells him what to do and plans the route for him. Also knowing information about the speed on the roads, all the things, average speed, I mean. And the courier has also a navigator which tells him how to get there better. And also we can see the online statistics and then weekly and monthly statistics. The plan fact quality, quality of the routes, how the couriers were doing that, where they're late, where they're going on the planned street or they used another street, etc. All of that influence on the customer's experience and also on the optimal number of couriers on everything, on the money at the end, of course. So this is very important part, which is not always ready. Our partners, clients, where we face, come and start the project, so the couriers just decide themselves, and that's a problem. And also the courier has a call in the app, so he can automatically call, he can do other actions, take money, and all the things helps to manage the
cash collection is part of the system as well, right? Because especially in the Middle East market, what we saw is people were using like the payment method of cash on delivery, like 50-60%, like especially initially when we launched. So it's very important to have a tool for cash collection, especially for the vendor itself, to be able to track these.
Exactly. There is a cash box in the app, so the courier just, the cashier works as a cashier. He sees what he should give at the rest and so on and so on. Okay, so we don't have too much time left, so let's go further. Next important question when we're starting to talk with the client is client support and chatbots and all the things. So actually, Fadi, can you share how you was doing the client support in Snunu?
So we have a central call center which receives all the calls, etc. as well, and we had like two different kind of departments. One was like vendor operations, the second was like customer experience department, basically, which was handling the customer service calls through a central model, and the vendor operations was communicating with all the vendors on the platform to ensure the vendors were processing the order on time, basically. Yeah, and we were using chatbots as well, I believe. Yeah, but I cannot really deep dive that much in this topic.
To add, what is very important from our experience is that call center quite often can change something in the order because the customer is saying, okay, I don't want this, but replace this or something, whatever it could happen. So they need this possibility to change the order, and the warehouse will see the update of the order, like the previous orders, details about the customer, and so on. And we have that in the system as well. It's integrated with IP telephony. And we also can set the chatbots not to use the call center all the time. Most of the questions are quite frequent. So the chatbot can work in different messengers, so it can be like set according to the exact case. But that's provide to the customer feeling that he's always communicating with the company if he has some problems, if somebody's answering and so on. So yeah, we have all this tool again in the same solution, which is very important because you can trace all the changes, all the actions, everything what was happening with the order and with the communication with the customer. And when we are talking about communication with the customer, actually very important here to talk about the loyalty and personalized marketing. So I will tell a few words what we are doing here, and Fatih will add his experience. So actually we have a separate like AI-based module, which is doing the segmentation based on the customer's behavior. We know all the data from the app or from the website. And based on the data and based on the segments, AI is planning the personalized communication and as well content management of the screen. So what is shown to the customer on the screen, on the top and so on. From my experience, it really increased the conversion rate to the sales. It speed up the search. It increased the customer lifetime value at the end. So it's a very important thing. And as well, it can be used for promo, for loyalty. So we can use any loyalty mechanics, like bonuses or whatever. So all of that is also done. We don't need some additional separate loyalty platform. And the customer is always getting the most relevant to him proposals. And we can play with that on the background, play with the data. So this is the key feature for any Q-commerce and e-commerce to increase the market share and increase the customer's loyalty. So Fatih, a few words from your side.
Yeah, so like I think it's pretty worldwide and generic to segment customers these days with like additional tools to be able to create the best ROI as much as possible. So like what we did, or what a lot of competitors in the market do, is they segment the customers which are not ordering as much as they should, right? And they usually try to enable those specific customers with like promo codes, vouchers, etc., for them to be able to be using the application as much as possible, right? So what we did, or what everybody does usually, is to be segmenting the customers who are ordering daily, who are ordering weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, and try to increase their average order itself, right? And we usually use like vouchers, loyalty codes, sometimes like free delivery, to be able to enable these customers specifically who are not ordering as much, which helps with the marketing ROI itself.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we will not share some numbers, but of course I can share some average numbers. So we know that an increase lifetime customers lifetime value for around 25% from our experience in average, for instance, only this one KPI. But again, it depends on each company and many details. Okay, and the last thing, what we I think it's worth to talk. It's actually the front end, the mobile app, first of all, and UI UX design for Q-commerce. So everybody starts with that, and most of the companies already have some apps and so on. But let's talk about some world standards and best practice in that. From our side, we have the app, which is customizable. It's white label app. We've shown one example here on the screen, but we use that best global practices here. So maybe let's just share a few of them. The big picture, the very easy interface, and what is also very important is smart search. So we have a smart search based on AI, and we now integrated ChatGPT, actually OpenAI technology, which helps to communicate with the application like with a person, even by voice, not only by text. So you can say like, I would like to buy such type of products priced not higher than these, and I prefer something. Yeah, so it will prepare your list, and then you can say, okay, I like these, that show me also alternatives. So the software will understand that, and actually the results of the search, everything will be based on that AI recognition of the text of voice, and it's really working very well because it's some new type of search and general of shopping experience. So Fadi, a few words from your side. What do you think is the what you can recommend?
So initially, when we launched the application, when we were doing data analysis, we saw like the customer journey was taking a long time to place order. By the like we calculate the time by the customer entered the vendor, and by the time the customer placed the order, it was a long journey for them. And we found the reason why that journey was long was like initially for the Q-commerce vertical, for the products, we only had the main categories, and the customers had to scroll down to find the product they needed to be able to place the order itself. But later on, we added like subcategories, dividing the products further, and added a search engine to be able to, like, if the customer knows what they want, they can just search it and add it to the cart directly. so which improved the customer journey overall. But like we can say, like optimizing, having a good UI UX design for specialized for Q-commerce affects the customer journey, like the speed at least to 60 to 70% overall. So I think it's pretty important, especially for the customers who know what they want, to have a short journey as much as possible, right? Because they already know what they want. They want to place the order as soon as possible to be able to get those certain products as soon as possible. So to provide like smart search, as you mentioned, creates a big value to the customers who don't have time to waste in the ordering process itself.
Exactly, yeah, that should be very quick. And also customers can have like time in the evening or in the morning and so on. So they're not always buying at the same moment when they're searching, but that should be saved. And then based on that, also some recommendations can be done, even if the customer didn't do the purchase. Okay, so questions and answers. We are out of time a bit, but the most frequently questions, how much does it cost and how long it takes to implement? Everything depends on the project, but of course I can say that because we have already technologies and expertise, and we work with experts like Fatih, so usually the project doesn't take too much time. For instance, we can launch the project together with integration during three months. Sometimes 3-4 months is enough to launch the whole project for already working dark store or retail, or sometimes for the new dark store. But we always do some analysis phase, after which we can say what is possible, how many customization is needed, and so on. And I will ask question to Fatih here as well. Based on your experience, can you recommend to our partners, some consultation as well, or how it can work with you if people are interested to get your experience from Snunu? Is it possible to contact you and to agree with you something like consultancy?
Yeah, of course. So I recently opened my own company as well, to be able to provide like e-commerce consultancy as well. And especially I have like a big operational experience in the market, in the local market in Qatar, especially with e-commerces and Q-commerces itself. And I think we can share the contact information later on with the video or the meeting itself, or they can directly contact you, of course, to be able to get my contact information if they need it. But I think, like, as a last recommendation or overall to all the viewers or the listeners, I would give is, like, before launching a project, I believe it's you should choose the right tools to be able to implement it as better as much as possible, right? The best way possible, because what I faced is we launched with one tool, and we later on had to migrate to another tool to be able to have more efficient operations as much as possible, right? And it was a big headache to be able to migrate. The whole migration process itself was time consuming, and as well as very hard to implement. But of course, like, people experience like you in the IT platform makes it much easier to be able to migrate to any platform, like especially your platform, I suppose.
Definitely, it's important. So, okay, we are open for any discussions. I'm in Riyadh till 16th of June, so I will be able to meet personally with people who are in Riyadh. And we are starting office here in Riyadh as well. Fatih is in Doha in Qatar. So we are ready to talk online or offline if it's possible. And we'll be happy to help you to share our big experience, which we already collected, especially during last 3-5 years. And thank you very much for joining us today, for listening to what we wanted to share with you. And hopefully we will see each other and keep in touch. And good luck to everybody.
Yeah.
And in digitalization, we trust, we say. So it's like world is more and more digital. That's something you have to have if you want to be, you know, like really competitive now in current days. So thank you very much. Thank you, Fatih. And yes, I was happy to talk, and have a nice day. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, everyone.